Okay, so this right here is my Lexus IS300. More importantly, this is the front fender of my Lexus IS300. I'm going to be pulling off both of the fenders of this IS so that I can install JDM side marker lights. As insignificant as these lights appear, I kind of want them for safety because if someone's in my blind spot, I want them to see my turn signal come on in case I don't see them. Granted, I always head check, but I'd still like that extra peace of mind just in case. So, I'm going to be pulling the fender off and then I'm going to be cutting the hole and wiring them up to this turn signal right here. It should be fairly simple. Now to pull the fender off, I'm going to start out with these 3 bolts up top and then go around the bottom. So here's 1, and then 2 and 3. There might be more on your car because the last owner of my car didn't put all the bolts into it. Okay, so now those top 3 bolts are off, I'm going to start taking off some bolts right here. There's 1 right there, 1 there, and 1 there. So those 3 underneath my little ugly fender flare. So I got those 3 bolts down there off. I'm actually going to try and pull the headlight because I feel like there's something behind the headlight holding this thing in. So I've already taken off 1 bolt here. Now for the other bolt here, and let's see if it'll slide right out. So oddly enough, by loosening the headlight, the whole fender is actually loose now. So that's interesting. I'm going to go behind the driver's passenger door and check to see for more bolts to loosen in here. Okay, now here we are inside the door fender liner, fender panel. You see a couple bolts right there, one at the very top of that pillar, a couple further down. The question is, how does one get to it when there's a FRS in the way? So I'm gonna get that bolt right there. Looks like there might be another one down there, but that should be about it. Oh, it's actually loose already. Wow, look at that. It's loose. Why am I surprised? Now if you come under the car, you'll see 2 bolts right here and here as well. So I'm going to pull those off. Directly underneath the door. Right there and there. Okay, now here's a moment of truth. Let's see if it'll come off. Got the headlight holding it over here and something else over here maybe? Looks like... thing I found out that was not on the passenger side is that this little guy right here is a little bolt that you have to access from the back of the quarter panel. So what you do is you get everything else off, you put an extension through here, and just take it out just like that. The passenger side didn't have this. This little tab was actually ripped off its weld by the last owner. I'm not really surprised, but I wish I was. So the rubber thing is holding it in back here. Pull that one out from there. Okay, rubber thing is out. Now it looks like the 2 last things are holding it in are these 2 screws for the fender liner. One thing I gotta mention that you need to take out. There's gonna be 2 bolts on the back of this headlight. I've actually already put it back together. I kinda just forgot to mention that in the video. So, try to get a good shot of it. Somewhere in there. Maybe. Or maybe not. It's the one problem with a wide body. Wider car than normal. It's kind of hard to show you this. Let me see if I can turn. But there's going to be 2 bolts on the back of the headlight. Those got to come out, and then the whole thing should come loose. Okay, so I laid down masking tape all along the quarter panel, the front fender, and I measured 100 millimeters from this little trim piece and 97 millimeters from this back panel right here. Those are the only measurements I could find online for the OEM IS300 Altezza fender turn signals or markers. And then I drew the actual outline of the side marker and I colored in and measured in the areas that I think should be cut. I'm going to cut it a little bit smaller just in case, and then test fit the side marker over and over, hope it fits, and go from there. Okay, so I kind of forgot to record me actually putting the turn signal in and taking the tape off, but it's pretty simple. Once you make the hole big enough, it just slots into place. There's 2 clips, one on the front and the back. The passenger side went very smoothly and everything came out fine. The driver's side did the same thing where I masked everything down, but this time the paint seemed to have gotten burned not too sure how. And right here it's actually peeling out, not just the paint but everything, but it's going down to bare metal. So yay. But my cut was much better, so it fits in perfectly. First try. Just like that. Pops right in there. But you can see everything else around it is kind of so yeah. Okay, so in terms of wiring, it's actually pretty simple. What it is, I just tapped into the wires on the actual turn signal. So the ground is going to be the white and black wire. Power is the green and yellow wire. And those are hooked up respectively in there. And then I ran the wire down through here into this little bracket and popped it out through there. And it's on there. So I'm going to be taking this stuff apart and putting the conduit on it and then starting to bolt everything back together. It's so clean. I love this shit. God damn. Here's what the car looks like after the turn signal mod is done. It's actually pretty bright, but during the day you almost barely see it, and it should offer a decent amount of indication to people that you're about to turn. All that being said, it's probably worth the $35 as a mod, just because it's kind of cool, but at the same time it does require a lot of work, considering you have to do the wiring, pull the fenders off, and yeah, I still don't have a front bumper, but I'm working on it. It's somewhere in the house, I just gotta find it, put it on. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I really do like it. And if you like this, or if you like it, like and subscribe and do whatever else you do on the internet. I have a lot more stuff planned for this car. It's just a matter of doing the work to turn it into a little bit less of a box. Like, yeah, I like it. So if someone was in my blind spot right here and they couldn't see my rear tail light, they could see that one just fine. I like that. Very functional. Anyway, have a good one. Do whatever you do on the internet. Enjoy your day. So yeah, there's that right there.